What's up, YouTube? All right, we're back. We got it figured out, I think, at least for a little while. And now we got to do all this. And then let's go live on Substack. Do. Do. Yep, when I told you this was going to be raw, I really meant it. It's definitely raw. Can you guys even hear me? Is this even on? Huh. I hope so. I hope you can hear me. How about now? Can that hear me? Oh, yeah, that one can hear me. And entire screen, share, eraser. All right. Now let's get back on track. Let's close this a little bit. We don't need all that. Okay, so what I found out was that, yes, I was in work mode. I wasn't in chat mode, so it was burning right through them. I guess we'll use that like how we used to use Claude. Used to run it through Claude to see what it thought about it and whatnot. So now, so this first pasted text is just the primer prompt, the original primer prompt. Then I threw the upload chat GPT in there, and then the two recent slices that we did, or the recent slice like information that we did. Excuse me. And then it says Inspected the results, supplement phases, all the matched. No capture legacy was slice 17 remains blocked. The completed correction design requires preserve. All of this, and then this preserves the accepted slice 16 slice state as its prohibition against output rendering, model authority, vector authority, retrieval authority, GP-14 suppression, GP-15 revival, or frozen legacy activation. The handover's evidence first workflow remains controlling. So I already downloaded both of these, the sidecar and everything. No source was modified, no patch was generated, do not commit anything. And so then I copied all of the everything we did in the terminal, and I put it in there, pasted it in here, and just said, I just wanted to give you this information before we do anything else in case it changes anything. If not, give me my next steps. I downloaded both of those files. It says this information does not change the containment decision, but it gives us stronger confirmation that the foundation is sound. So the next step after I downloaded these two files that it gave me, our next step is to open the download folder in the terminal. So there they are right there. Verify the checksums. So 10, yeah. Then that's all we're looking for, see if it failed, and it didn't. So after verification, we'll copy either the file into this, run git, paste the checksum verifications output here. Next build action is the frozen legacy call site containment correction patch packet, which would be inspected before anything touches the repository. So since this is where we started, we'll give it all of this information here. Can you guys hear me good? Because I messed with my microphones. I listened to those previous ones and it sounded kind of echoey, and I didn't really like that. Awesome. Thank you, Aaron. Perfect. Thank you, Fractal. All right. Now, checksum verification passed. The design record is intact. AI.Web frozen legacy call state, containment patch, design record, got it. The repository evidence also confirms the correct clean baseline at head. Slice 1 to 6 behavior verified. Stacks are passing. One evidence gap remains before I stop before generating the correction patch because the actual contents of 2 required source archives are not accessible in this chat. I have the creation logs and record checksums, but the production grade patch cannot be written safely from file names and terminal output alone. Upload these 4 files. Yep, I figured. No terminal commands needed. So I need slice 17 narrow source and rendering authority supplement. And those are all right here, I do believe. Call site. Yep, it's those 4 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll give them that. One, 2. This guy. And This guy. Yep. So GPT 5.6 Sol is pretty good. I like it. Only thing I don't like about it is that it's taken on the Claude, give me your money to use me more, which kind of sucks, but I guess we'll use it sparingly when we can. And please forgive me for drinking this. I actually haven't had one in almost a month. So I just knew tonight might go on for a while, so I wanted to make sure that my brain was running correctly. Check in exactly which files arrived so I can separate what is useful. What is it? Narrow slice authority and supplement. Looks like that wasn't okay. So I'll look at it like this then, make it easier. Use supplement. I think this is everything that it should. Validate extracting them into isolated workspace. Then I'll build a containment correction packet without touching your live repository. Great, thank you. Listed files, verified hashes, generated and verified file hashes, and nested directories. Inspected files, checkzones, verified. Inspecting relevant source files. All the repos, the manifest, the source scripts. I love when it actually makes me feel like it's thinking hard. It's inspecting our C15 and C16 files. Those were our original patches on on Forge itself, on the actual program. Searching for source inspection record, search, build and patch packet. Here we go, y'all. Fractal says, are you just pushing this through for hostile review? I don't understand the question. Are you just pushing this through for hostile review? Are you talking about am I pushing it through GPT for hostile review? I'm actually, I'm having it build all the packets and all of the updates and everything. No. Yeah. Yeah. No. I'm far from. I mean, if I had somebody who I knew who was a masterclass coder, I would be having them do it, obviously. But this is the closest that I got to knowing how to code is checking it, making sure it works, trying to break it, and then redoing it again. But no, I don't like LLMs. But I've trained my GPT account. Yeah, I've trained my GPT account. It knows what I expect out of it and knows. Well, that's Fractal Focus says 100%. Or first he asked if I was just sending this through to see what it would say about it. Because then he also brings up the point because I say I don't like LLMs. I don't like using them for information. I guess like I'll use it as my second brain or my helper. I guess, but I don't trust them. I don't trust them one bit. That's why I don't connect it to my actual computer itself. I'd rather put them in. Fractal Focus says, I can't complain about my AI coworkers. They're my only teammates currently. And yes, I hear you. Look at all of this. Jiminy Christmas. Aaron asks, do you test drive this as you build it at all? The end? Or is the process the test drive for optimum results? So, with what we're building right now, we got to build all the files first. And then once we have the files built, then we'll be able to go in and use them. As of right now, it's really just files and architecture and not really algorithm, but mathematical how it works itself out. So actually, the way that we're doing it is more like a symbolic algebra than anything else. So right now we're building the actual state of it, and then we'll use it and see how it works and see if it's working. Excuse me, in the way that we think that it's working or the way that we think that it should work. Then we'll go back and we'll find out what's going on inside of it. Find out a better way. See if it's not, then we'll fix it. If it is, it's perfect. So this is actually like just an engine. We're in a very simple term. This is just an engine that we're building right now. It's just a massive engine because it's the actual semantic lexicon of everything. Fractal Focus says, so have you tried 5.6 Sol yet? Yeah, that's actually what we were using in part 1 of this. And then we ran out of tokens or whatever it is. And it asked me to upgrade it. And we're not going to do that. We're already upgraded enough. Aaron asks, are we still on the production line? Fractal Focus says, no, we are not. We're in the we're kind of on the production line. We're more in the engineering route. Well, we're even past that. We're in the quality control right now because it went after it got off the assembly line. We took it to quality tested it, and then found out that there's a bad piece of engineering in it. So we had to send it back to the engineers and assembly line to reassemble. It would be the engine, the actual core of it, because we're taking out the LLM, and so now we're basically designing our own language model. Is really what it is. So Fractal says we're completely model agnostic. Yeah. Well, so with the Echo Forge part of it, that's completely model agnostic. You can add you'll be able to even add your models from GPT, Claude, Grok, whatever you run by putting your API in there. That's the final thought of it. Clark says he thought that you meant we were relying on someone else's model. Oh, yep, yep. No, we're basically creating our own model right here, really our own language model. And it's not really even a model. That's why I have a problem saying that, because it's because it's not going to be like upgraded. It's not going to be like 5 points, it's not going to be 1.1, 1.2 when it upgrades, because when we start putting when we start adding information to the actual what do we call it, the actual core of it, like all of our papers, all of our books, anything that we're studying, that's actually what's going to add to it and make it, give it a bigger lexicon so it knows what's going on, has more words. So it really literally grows with you as you're doing work on it. And it grows specifically for you. That's why it's local and it's yours, because you don't want other people going through all of your personal information. This guy's still over here going, huh? Managing package creation, inspected text, test scripts, memory recaller, and ran regression tests, computed file protection, created directories, planning patch creation. Yep, that's awesome, because this is kind of like the big part of it. Record hashes and the extracted source matches the prior inspection. I've also confirmed the correction can be restore files frozen module. I thought so, because of the way that we built it. We build it in modules, and then with each slice, we put the slices together, and then that becomes a module. Mm-hmm. And this is awesome because I get to talk out loud, like talk and hear myself. But Aaron says fractal. I often don't know what I mean. Like I have the structure, the picture, and what's going on in my head. And digital is the hard part. Writing tombstone records for retired content. That's kind of funny. Writing tombstone records for retired content. Okay, that works too, huh? So, what do you guys mostly watch this on? Your phone, or your computers, or TV? I'm just wondering how small this all looks to you. Aaron said, "What is a tombstone record?" Oh, I'm guessing it's because we're taking the whole LLM and the what is it called? Uh, what we were holding information in with using the LLM. We're taking all of that out. So I'm assuming that it's saying that it's dead, it's gone, it's out of here. But I don't know. That's why I thought it was kind of funny too. Fractal says, I often wonder if they completely understood how the world would transform once they released to the public sector. And he uses on his phone, so we can't really read what's on screen. Mostly here for the dialogue. Aaron's on his monitor and still needs to enlarge the screen to read it. Okay, so let's try. Let's do something like this then. Hopefully you guys can read that a little bit better. Yeah, because I was going back and watching through, and it was really hard for me to read because I was on my phone. So Fractal says 5.6 is so crazy that I think it was lagging my computer when it runs codecs. The text thread, like the live chat. Okay, good. Yeah, just zoom in. And then Fractal says, to be fair, I turned it up to ultra and I'm running on limited constrained HP, but building everything I have with so little is proof of the work, right? Well, that's kind of my argument too, is that we don't need, like, what are all these data centers for? Like, we don't, it doesn't need that much power to run. It needs that much power to keep all of our data, like the AT&T building in New York. But that's for another chat, I guess. See, archives validate against records. We already know that. We wrote the tombstone record update behavior test script. Search source inspection files. The correction payload is now assembled with backup, apply rollback behavior test verifier, and results collection control. It's bench testing the exact packet. Thank you. I appreciate that. Right. Fractal Folks says, because someone needs a job. I mean, I can't, you know, yes, right? They need a job, they need to pay, but the amount of money that them workers are making compared to the amount of money that they're getting off of selling everybody's data is two different things. He said, Fractal also says, do you have more philosophical paper that touches upon this? I mean, let's see. I can't think of one right off the top of my head, but I'm sure if I start digging, I'm sure I've written about it. But the whole point is that we don't need all that. We don't need all that compute, and especially to run what we're trying to run, even trying to run some of the biggest simulations. I mean, that's why a compute share is part of it. Aaron says, pin that, great point. And Fractal says, and what purpose is the data sold? Exactly. That's the question. Honestly, I think that it's just sold to sell you more stuff, really. Aaron also asks, what about the amount of energy it takes to collect data for profit? Right? That's the whole thing. Like, we, they talk about being, conservative on energy and green energy and all that stuff, but then they turn around and for what? Just to sell us more stuff for nothing. Fractal says that they need the data because they believe they're building superintelligence by brute force metrics. That's impossible. Exactly. Yeah, they think that if they take all of the information and randomize it, it'll somehow become quantum. But to me, that's about as ridiculous as the photon. Yeah, I said it. Photon has never been an input or output of any scientific uh, any scientific experiment ever. The photon is primarily just a mathematical. Nikola Tesla would have called it, or Einstein Proteus, or any of the people that Tesla actually learned from, Maxwell, any of them. They'll tell you the same thing. Photon isn't real. All right, back to the correction payload is now assembled back up. Still running it, optimizing file scanning and violation aggregation. Fractal focus says everything is art, or at least an artistic expression. You're excused. You're welcome. That's why we're friends. Well, we know that it's still thinking because it had this little thing right here. It does make me nervous when it thinks for this long, though. No, Fractal. He asked if we're using the new work mode. No, that's what we used in part one of this, and ran out of. It told me that I had to buy more or something or another, and I refused that. I refused to do that. So this is just regular chat mode. Chat mode on high. Yeah, I think. Well, I used to before Claude became a money grab. We used to run a lot of our stuff through there to see, just to have a separate point of view. So I think that that's what we'll end up using. Sol for. Fractal says they won't sustain this model. It's impossible. Well, they took the same. I mean, that's the same reason that I'll never pay another dollar to Claude, because of the way that they changed all of like their model won't even let you try to, it won't even let you try to build an advanced artificial intelligence system, even if it's not any type of LLM. Like it completely shuts it down or takes it to a different model. Let me try to reload the page, see if maybe it was my page that. Fractal thinks we should have a whole conversation about that. I'm down. Aaron brings up a very, very valid point. It seems their business model is for entertainment, not for education. I agree with that. It's not to help progress. It's basically, yeah, for entertainment purposes. wonder how long this is going to take. This is crazy. This is the first time that it has ever. I mean, I guess it is trying to go through a lot of stuff right now. Aaron says techno feudalism. Right. It's what would it be? It would be like in Star Wars after the Emperor took over. This is wild. Retry with a faster model. Man. Inspecting files, verifying packet, inspect relevant sources, add switch upload, modifying memory retrieval backend controls, computing file duplication, hash reduction, merge files, 351 mismatches. Inspect managers, writing tombstone record for retired content. So what does that say? Withdrawn from historical evidence, status retired block. Former C15 Chroma connector proposal is retired only in Git history as historical evidence. It's not in this install authority, must not be used as runtime. Optimizing file. Huh. Fractal says, fascinated by all the perspectives, and it's been slow for you too. New rollout, everyone heard about AI is using 5.6 right now. Yeah, I'm still on 5.5 though. That's the thing. I wonder if it's just battering their servers. Aaron says, look at all the time and energy they're extracting from you to do this, and they still want you to pay more. I know, right? It's kind of ridiculous. That's all it is a money grab. Fractal says, Aaron, there's a way to be streamlined. I was blessed to have good teachers like Russell Wright and Nicholas. Thanks, bud. Fractal, many others. I was not a technical person by any means. You know what? Neither was I until bang. All right, we're back on, boys. Looks like meat's back on the menu. Aaron says, Fractal, what is too streamlined? Fractal says, to make less consuming, utilize these tools. We're still in early stages regardless. Precisely. Here we go, boys. Download that guy. All right, got both of those. Yep, there it is right there. There it is right there. Send me the complete terminal output from this verification. Zing. Just doing one final read-only check for the packet structure, and it's included instructions, so the next command is exact and safe. Hey, I appreciate that. You get a pillow to sit on. Let's see, patch archive passes. external checksums. Next step is read-only extraction and internal verification. This will create one packet folder and downloads, but it will not touch Forge. Copy and paste the entire block. We need it to pass. And see all this at the end. So we're just waiting for a pass. The failed warning on the page I just left. Oh, this one. Let's see. Oh, this right here, you're talking the red right here? That's actually just saying that it's a file, like an actual patch. So the way that mine is set up, see how there's green, blue, and then red? The green is the actual computer base, like what it's all out of. The blue is what the actual file folders are called, and then the green, or and then the red, updated patches or the things that I'm actually looking for. So I have it set up to where they stand out. Do not run backup or apply scripts yet. Do not apply final warning backup. Okay, so now we'll take all of this. And we'll throw it through here. And see what that says. See, apply behavior test, pin, final warning, do not run. Packet extraction, every external, it says it all passed. The README confirms correct operation order, backup first, and stop review before applying to anything. So those are just warnings. Those are just warnings for, these are just, down here is just warnings for the file. So it tells it not to run an add commit, don't commit, don't rerun slice 17. So this is just telling it what not to do right here. All right, already inside the extracted packet folder, copy and paste this exact command. And then now this is where we're looking for the actual mind my language, guys. So the more direct it'll be. So the fail notice is on the GPT feed. I think it is informational only. Yeah, that was caused by the earlier command block leave in set EX terminal. When backup skip return anything other than 0 bash close the entire terminal. That was my mistake. You think? It wasn't my mistake. I didn't design it. I didn't design that patch. We are not rerunning an entire block. Command fails. Terminal remain open. Command fails. Cool. You should see that. When that happens, there are 3 possible no backup directories created. A backup directory exists. Backup complete. Paste full output here. Do not run the backup or apply patch yet. No backup was created. So we take it from live repository identity. So it's showing that that's everything that happened. Grok for the same reason. Exactly. And I don't even I'm not even screaming at it either. I'm not even I just calmly use intense words so that it knows the of what I'm dealing with. Because my chat GPT will it knows my point of view on LLMs and how I think that they work, because nobody truly knows how the black box works. So we'll go the backup script stops safely before creating anything because this file made the repository dirty. Bang. So there's no stage changes, no modified track files. We do not yet know what created that JSON file, so do not delete, remove, rename, stage, or edit it. The correct next step is to preserve it in a read-only dirty state evidence packet. Open the terminal and copy this entire block. It reruns inside a separate bash process, so an error should not close out your terminal window. Yeah, and that's why when it starts thinking too hard like that, I start getting kind of nervous, but we'll see what this says. Okay, so near the end, you should see dirty state packet complete. Final exit code must be 0, then upload the newly created exit code 0. Yep. So now we get this. Then we upload both of these. Here, I'm moving back to this because it's easier for me to find them after this. I got that. And then we got that. All right. Now let's see what it takes off of that. Validating the dirty state packet and checking preserve JSON file and confirming whether it's safe to keep outside the correction scope or whether it changes our next step. And well, here we go again. Inspect files for secrets and validating relocation steps. Inspecting files for secrets. Handling uncertain file correctly. That's wild. It says this package has passed its external and internal checksums. The track file is valid JSON and is planning whatever that just said. What the file is on track file, forge build sequence, validated UTF-8 JSON, 4674 bytes. There's the checksum marked associated with an older patch. That's why it was trying to run it and an older patch at the same time. It's not part of the current language core correction and should not be committed into the slice. However, it is legitimate historical memory, so we'll preserve it outside the repository rather than delete it. Preserve and relocate the exact line. Open terminal, paste this entire block. And then at the end, we want to see this. It doesn't erase memory records, creates a byte identical verified copy under downloads before removing the untracked copy from the repository. Do not run the containment backup yet. Paste the complete output from the command. Aaron says, what is a dirty state? A dirty state would be when our Git repository on a computer doesn't match up with checksums. And checksums are basically like our barcodes for each and every single patch, and each and every single thing that goes into the system has its own checksum. That's one of the ways that it can search it up along with resonance. So it's going to have 2 or 3 different ways that it can search one thing up. At least 2 or 3 different ways. It has to be contaminated. Aaron says, has it been contaminated from a pure state? Yeah. Yep. Because the pure state Git would be perfectly running and everything in its spot. So that would be the pure state. So let's see, original preserved files outside repository. Yes. All the checksums. Containment patch applied. No. Perfect. So that's what we want here. I'm going to give it the whole thing, just so it knows that what I uploaded. No problem. Aaron says thanks. The preservation step passed. The important proof is that the strange mashed together text during the pasted command did not affect the results. The memory file now exists safely outside of the repository and is clean. Now let's create the containment backup. Copy paste this into the terminal. And then we want this. And backup scripts passed. Yep, perfect. All right, now that is contained. Let's say do not stop with expose other than this. 0. Yep, it's a 0 right there. There's our key proof. You're now clear for the apply step. Do not test, verify, stage, or commit afterwards until we review the applied output. Apply the containment correction. Copy paste this. What this apply script should do, it should reconfirm home, the branch main, reconfirm the head, repository is clean before applying, verify protected and frozen hashes, copy only the approved corrected files, update only approved entries, leave both frozen legacy files unchanged, so the exact modified and added pass, leave everything unstaged. So we want to see 0 and applied script patch, or applied script pass, and then should come in intentionally dirty with the only approved correction paths. Stop immediately if you see an error. Oh, don't worry, I will. And pass, no stage files, patch copied successfully. So Fractal says, so you don't ever speak to your model. I do when I'm on my phone. When I'm on my computer, I just type. It's quicker for me to type than for me to say it. I mean, I guess it depends on what I'm doing. Honestly, whatever is easier for me to do at the time is usually what I do. So when I'm on my phone, it's really hard to type anything. But I never put my voice into it. So maybe that's why I don't usually use it on the computer, because on my phone, I have the ability to use talk to text on it without actually using the models listen to your voice thing or whatever. Primarily because I don't like my voice being recorded into something that I don't own. Do you treat Fractal asks, do you treat it like it's new every time, or does it have continuality? You mean, so my continuality usually works off of previous files that I had make for the next session and my primer prompts. And a lot of the time I'll say, go back through our previous chats and find out. That's usually how I use it for continuous use over and over again to the next, to the next, to the next. Fractal also, you don't treat it like a person, you treat it like a bed, is what I'm asking. Yeah, it's a tool. It's a tool to me. I mean, when I'm trying to get it to do what I want it to do, I'll talk to it in the most intense possible way that I would talk to myself. But other than that, yeah, I use it. I make the bed and then sleep in it. Right. Why, why would I think I mean, you can give meaning to a rock, right? And if that rock has meaning to you, then who's to say that it's not imbued with power? Like, and that's a very broad statement, but so let's see. 11 changed only approved correction paths. 11 existed files modified. 4 new files added. No file stage. No commit created. Both frozen legacy models left untouched. Now run only the containment behavior test. Required successful. We're looking for a pass on this. Obviously, I don't know why it would tell me that. We're always looking for a pass on. But Fractal says this is all going to get pretty crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Look at all those passes. Look at that. Perfect. Place the behavior test output here. Do, 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 do. Do, do. And there we go. So let's see, memory boundary only, memory boundary no chroma, memory boundary no vector, frozen legacy call state containment behavior test. Passed fully. Also confirms both frozen module hashes remain unchanged. No live imports or dynamic loads remain. Deterministic renderer still works. LLM requests fail explicitly without fallback. File system recall works. Chroma vector, somatic embedding, hybrid, automatic, and RAG requests are blocked. The retired C15, C16 scripts cannot execute their former behavior. Nothing was staged or committed. Now we run an independent verifier. So like another test on top of all those tests that were inside of the actual code base itself of that. What it'll check independently is every approved, corrected, and added path. Both frozen modules remain byte for byte unchanged. No static or dynamic frozen modules import remains. No retired C15, C16 scripts can invoke old behavior. The correction behavior test passes again. GP-14 behavior and verification still pass. GP-15 remains failed and unchanged. GP-15R1 remains uninstalled. Protected configuration agents and dependencies file remain unchanged. Repository changes are limited to the exact of approved paths. No file stages, no site backup packet or generated result files enter the repository. All right, so we run this guy. And we'll see if this independent verifier works. Do, 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 do. Yep. What does it say? Independent verifier command exit code 1. Yep. So that means something didn't go through. So now we give it this, and then we figure out where it's at. And that's how it works. That is how we find the bugs and fix them before it actually hits, before we actually put out the actual thing. That's why I do it like this, so that we don't create the whole thing and then have to go back piece by piece and figure out exactly where it happened at. We know where it happened, and then once everything is clean, then we lay it on top and keep on going. Did not find source code defect. Every check before the cache scan passed. It stopped because this generated directory exists. Candidate meaning boundary scaffold. Okay, so it had one of these in there, so it stopped it. I was likely created when Python imported modules during testing, but will verify rather than assume. Do not roll back. Do not delete the cache. Rerun the verifier stage or commit yet. We'll do a read-only Python cache inspection. So we'll pull this guy. Excuse me. And see what it says. Inspection command exit code 0. Paste the complete output here. So these are all of the files that have the those PSY or PCY or PYOs in it. I don't know. There we go. Not really that big of a search and project context. Inspection shows these were old, ignored, untracked Python caches, not source changes, not evidence of failed patch. Check the verifier's exact cache. Roll now so we can correct the false positive safely instead of deleting your virtual environment blindly. That's good, right? Aaron says he feels like this mix between the Manhattan Project and the Hail Mary pass. Just as time is running out, resources to even do a project like this are going to be locked down sooner than we all think. Am I over dramatizing it? I don't think so. That's exactly why every time a new llama model comes out, I download it hard onto my computer, because eventually, yeah, I think they'll all be locked down pretty hard so that nobody can compete, I think is really what it is. I don't think that they really realized how people would use LLMs until they hit the market. And as a Hail Mary pass just in time, as time is running out, honestly, that is the reason that I started building it myself. The reason that I mean, I can't even say that I learned to code, but the reason that I learned how to use an LLM to code. I've been trying to code with an LLM since GPT-3. GPT-2 was kind of useless for it, but it helped me understand HTTP. But other than that, inspection settled that all cache directories are ignored by Git, no cache files to track, no source path changed, and nothing is staged. Most caches predate this correction by weeks. The verifier failed because it enforces absolute no anywhere under rule, including inside ignored. We will not weaken the verifier. We will preserve every cache file outside the repository, remove only the generated cache artifacts, confirm Git status is unchanged, and then rerun the verifier with bytecode creation disabled. So preserve and remove any ignored Python caches. Then this is what we'll be looking for. Cache files found 26, cache files found, cache file directory files. So cleanup exists 0. Looks like it passed. So we'll send this whole thing to it. Oh. It's thinking and searching for project context. We can now rerun the independent verifier with Python bytecode creation disabled. We run the independent verifier. So, yep, we're looking for rerun exit code 0 again. And take it from here. And run it. Did it again. What happened? You're right to be pissed. So I'm going to close because I put this into the command. Why would you do that? The verifier returned a non-zero result that exited, closed your entire interactive terminal. That was your mistake. That was his mistake. That was my mistake. Do not rerun the verifier. The output should already be saved in the log file. We'll inspect that file repository, open it up, paste this as the inspection block. Copy this, put this in there. And I'll say always. I don't ever want my to close out. So hopefully it'll make a memory of never closing it out. Hopefully. Yep, there it is. So then take this again. This correction file stayed intact. No Python cache will be corrected inside of the repository. GP-014 protect behavior test. Exit code 0. Run code 1. Okay. And this was the terminal output from the last thing you told me to run. Includes, you're right. I'm separating those two layers now so we don't mistake reading the failure for running it again. Yep, so this is where we're integrating what we built before with Forge and the RMC. The actual result was everything passed, but it stopped because the Python interrupter could not import Lark. No module named Lark. The repository remained intact and on stage. Likely issue is the verifier wrapper launches plain Python 3 while the terminal currently shows base, meaning it may be using the conda base interpreter rather than Forge's bin, which will verify that before running anything again. Next step, read only Python environment check. Doesn't modify anything, we're just checking again. Key lines will be these three. Most likely the first two will be non-zero, and Forge bin will be 0. Once confirmed, we can run a verifier through the correct existing interpreter without installing or changing dependencies. Python 3.12, Python Lark, import exit code 1. There it is. Yep. So we take this guy, get all of this copied, and let it know this. Yeah, it's wild. We're still on slice 17. This is big point in the build. Python, good thing that I never give up, huh? We don't need to install anything or modify the verifier. We only need to run it with Forge bin, place first in path. The command below cannot close your terminal. There's no exit, execute, log out, or an active set E. The verifier reruns inside the child subshell, so even the failure returns you to the prompt. Rerun verifier with Forge's Python environment. And what are the expected results? Import pass, Python, executable, start an open verifier. So main, there's the head, stage files none, Python cast none. And let's see, everything up here passed. Yeah, that all passed. Pass. File system, pass. Looks like it's good. This is what the output was. So the an independent verifier passed completely. The important lines are for GP-014, protected behavior, protected verifier, exit code 0, frozen legacy, call site, containment verifier. Everything passed. Also confirm both frozen legacy files remain byte for byte unchanged. The containment behavior passed. No Python. Git status contains only approved correction paths. No files are staged. No commit was made. The terminal remained open. Right? Collect the formal result packet. This command runs a collector of separate child processes. It contains no terminal closing command. even if the collector fails, the terminal will remain open. Thanks, bud. See, I'll talk to it like that, but starting the packet collector. See, they'll always run. I'll always have it run a pre-check, and says it passed. Says that there's 2 files right here that I can upload to it. So we'll take this, then here, then we'll take those files that I made, and we'll slap those in there real quick. We'll let it search those. We'll keep moving. So let's see. Let's go back through here real quick. Get reports, repo. Those are all the MDs. Lovely do. So the RMC engine version 1, frozen legacy boundary. That's there. So I'm trying to mess with my belt right now. Head a little too tight. Validating the uploaded result, archive, end-to-end, external checksum, safe archive structure, internal checksums, record test exists, verifier exists, protects hashes, and exact get status. Packet integrity is clean, both recorded, exit codes are 0. Doing the final source diff review now, checking that the results contain only approved containment changes before giving the full commit, no commit decision. The result package now satisfy every pre-commit acceptance item in the design. I'm issuing the formal correction decision record with the exact path, local commit authorization, still no push, release, production, or slice 17 authorization. Sweet. So we're block by block. And we're creating a record so that we have a formal record to say what all happened, so that when we take all the files that are on my computer and put them into Forge, it knows how it was built. It already knows the paths not to go down. It knows how to patch on top of itself without breaking it. That way, whenever anybody else gets a hold of their version of it, because you can modify it to do whatever you want, right? But except for you're not going to be able to modify putting an LLM into the actual RMC. Let's see, formal decision, created the required decision record, explicitly authorized, does not authorize push, release, production use, or slice 17. So call site containment correction, formal results decision, local commit authorization record. This is our whole written record. Just looking and see if anything looks. And then download the decision checksum. And then we verify. Yep, says 0. So we're good to go. I'll send this guy in here. Hey, welcome everybody. We haven't got past slice 17 yet, but we're on our way. We're actually right at the cusp of right at the cusp of it. I'm gonna move my camera up a little bit. Not that you guys really want to see my face, but just to prove it's me. Command cannot close your terminal. Let's see, formal decision record verified successfully. The next authorization action is to stage only the 15 improved correction paths and inspect the stage results. We will not commit yet. This command cannot close your terminal. Stage the exact approved patches. So this is what we're looking for. This looks more like what I'm used to seeing too. Connector, LLM render, 15 files change, 1,198 inserts, deletions, 892 deletions on stage crack paths. Final get. Ooh, looks like there's two. Oh, that's why. That and that. Legacy call site. Containment. Staging record. So then we take all of this, give it back to it. Copy. Paste. And I think that it said that it made a file. AI.Web containment, exact paths, stage, and output. Staging, output. Send it through. Engine. Final get status. It's wild because now it's seeming to go a little bit faster, honestly. Exact path, stage and record confirms. Contain frozen legacy RMC call states. No push is authorized. Create and verify the local commit. This command continues no terminal closing instructions. Does not use exit. That's not what you should be worried about, but I appreciate it. So what are we expecting? We'll expect all of that. All right. Off the local commit, 15 files to commit command, turn code, new head, parent, subject, has contained a new commit, main, push, commit output, containment output. Sweet. So we take, that looks like it all passed. Doesn't look like anything got messed up. And so we'll also be looking for a web containment local commit output. Local commit output right there. And we send it through. So I'm pretty sure we're doing slice 18 at the same time. I think that we couldn't actually get slice 17 done until we preserved the wrapper decision slice. But we'll see. Authorize will commit pass completely. Not push, not begin slice 17 yet. Do not begin slice 17 yet. The correction must now pass post commit registration from the new clean head, post commit behavior regression. This runs only the containment behavior test against the commit. This is our hash or our bleh. This is our something right here. It uses Forge's virtual environment and cannot close your terminal. Sweet. So we'll copy that and we'll come down and see what it's supposed to say to pass. Paste the complete output after it finishes. It looks like it passed. Looks like it did its job. Now we send it the file that it created. I just think all of the patches and all of these files that we're creating, it's gonna take a minute to upload them all into Forge once we're finally at that point. But the cool thing about it is that that's also what's going to help with the code production in it too. And that's going to be one of my favorite parts about it is actually the actual building from it. The test did not fail. The packet wrapper intentionally refused any head other than the original pre-commit base. So after the approved commit, it stopped before running. I'm checking the exact guard and correct post-commit validation path now. So that's why those two didn't run, and that has a 1 on it. Output expected from pre-commit packet wrapper, not failure in the commit code. Wrapper is permanently pinned to the old base head. Your repository is now currently at, yeah. So the wrapper stopped before executing the behavior test and printed only error wrong head. I've been told that in my life. The repository stayed clean, unstaged, and cache free. Must not use the old wrapper after the commit. Instead, run the actual commit behavior test program directly. Run the real post-commit behavior test. Cannot close your terminal. Runs child process. Forge bin. Create no cache inside the repository. Does not modify stage commit or push anything. Sweet. So we'll take that guy. And then that's the ending we're looking for. Direct behavior child process as code 0 result. Direct post-commit behavior test pass. Behavior Python 12. Let's see, what's it say? Yep, behavior test pass. We got a 0. Sweet. All of that looks like it passed. And upload the file it just made. So yeah, technically we haven't even made slice 17 yet, or we haven't made right now we're carving out the spot for it. The direct post-commit behavior test passed completely. Confirmed. Head is the committed correction. Forge is Vim. Python is used. Both frozen module hashes remain unchanged. Deterministic rendering passed without an LLM. File systems only recall pass. Prohibited LLM chroma vector. Embedding semantic hybrid automatic and RG paths remain blocked. Retired C15, C16 execution paths remain disabled. Working tree remain clean. Stage files remain empty. No Python caches were created inside the repository. Child process, exit code. So run the committed structural verifier directly, not use the old packet wrapper because it's pinned to a pre-commit head. This command cannot close your terminal. Well, something's still going on in there. At least I think. It's probably another cache. The checks working tree diff, which is empty after a clean commit. I'm inspecting the exact logic, so the next check compares head to head instead of pretending the commit is still unstaged. Let's see. Verifier clean. Get the direct. Python syntax valid. Well, at least we know all of these are passing still. The verifier itself is healthy. Only its pre-commit evidence rules is no longer valid after the commit. I've confirmed the exact block. It requires all 15 something or another. The verifier did not find a structural defect past every source hash, syntax, registry, and manifest check before reaching one rule that is only valid before committing. All approved correction paths represented. The rule reads get status since the commit succeeded and the repository is clean. Get status correctly contains 0 paths. The verifier therefore listed all 15 committed paths as missing, even though they are present in the commit. We will not alter the commit verifier. We'll derive a temporary external post-commit version under downloads. We will retain every original check, but replace only the working tree path rule with checks against the actual commit range. Run the post-commit aware structural verifier. This command does not contain a shell exit. Place your shell. It cannot close your terminal. All potentially failing work runs as a child processor and returns to your prompt. It's still building it, isn't it? Yep. So we'll wait for those 3 little dots down here to disappear, and we'll know that it's completed. Welcome everybody. Nadia, space in between. Hey, what's up? Hard mode, ADHD dad life. What's up? Hope you're all enjoying it. Got your popcorn. This might be like watching the Titanic, except for at the end, Jack will be able to get on his own board. See, everything passes at the bottom. We want everything to say 0 and passed. Not push, or begin slice 14, paste the completed output. Bang. So now we're running it. See all this? That's all taken away. This is what's all added. Run post commit aware checks rules structural verifier. Pass everything. Zeros. All right, that's what we want to see. Everything's clean, everything passes. They create us. It created a couple different, so it goes from containment post commit all the way, all those. Okay, so there's 4 files we want to upload. The last 4 files in our download. Get everything. Paste. So all 4 of those, grab them. Oop, wrong button. That's cool. I don't think that they used to do that. I don't think that you used to be able to grab a bunch of different files at the same time. Upload everything that it made, the whole terminal output. And now it's searching the project context. Considering next steps, which sounds like everything passed the way it was supposed to. Yep, passed completely. External drive verifier changed only the pre-commit working tree tool to a post-commit head-to-head verification rule. The correction is now technically complete, but before deciding whether slice 17 can begin, package full closure evidence outside the repository. Create the final closure evidence packet. This command does not alter the repository, stage files, commit, push, or close your terminal. Dang, y'all. We're going to take slice 17, and then we're going to have to move right into a new chat thread probably, which is fine, but that's wild that it's, I mean, I guess I kind of figured that this one was going to be the largest of it all. So we're actually feeding them together, the RNC and Forge. Does anybody new in here have any questions or anything that they want to talk about? I appreciate you all kind of just letting me work and watching. Bottom should show packet build 0, internal checksum 0. So we're looking for zeros and final closure packet passed. Let's go all the way to the bottom. Put this in there, let it run. Archived 4 more documents, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Where's my pass at? Pass right there. Sweet. We feed the system a little more. What's that? So, I thought it said created 4 files. It's a text file. Huh. Well, we'll see. Oops, did it again. Oh. Run it. Validate and upload closure archive itself now. External checksum, save, verify, archive structure, internal manifest, evidence completeness, and the record final get state. The archive's internal evidence is consistent. One checksum file portability issue remains. It stores Nick's original absolute downloads path, so the normal SHA cannot resolve inside this sandbox. Compare it to expected digest directly to the upload archive and check in the nested results packet before closing the correction. Search for slice 17 details and authorize closed package is valid. Past independent inspection confirmed. All 18 internal manifests entries verified. Archives password safe. No symbolic links, hard links, device files, absolute or refusal paths were present. The nested result packet checksum matched. The derived post commit verifier checksum matched. The checksum file contains Nick's original absolute path. The path's not available inside my inspection sandbox, so I compared to the digest directly. Final exception rule: frozen legacy RRMC call site containment correction is accepted as a completed local committed correction. Previous slice 16 record identifies the next planned slice 17 as output expression boundary scaffold. Before that slice begins, because the containment correction changes the clean base head, any future slice 17 packet must now be generated from this. Older slice 17 material based on that must not be applied automatically. Slice 17 implementation means block, no push, blah, blah. And download independent closure inspection record. Internal manifest, entries verified, mismatch, verdict, scope, verification evidence confirmed, final acceptance ruling, everything passed, remains blocked. Download. Need this one. Make sure it's there. Verify file closure inspection. Yep, right there. And now, create anything? And there that is. Verified successfully. Final state, containment correction completed and accepted locally. Working tree is clean. Stage file is none. First performance 0. Slice 17 implement to select. There's nothing else to run for this correction. Keep the repository exactly as it is. The next separate phase is an inspection slice 17 source authority packet based on commit. No older slice 17 packet based on should be applied. All right, so let's give them this. I mean, you can already pull it, but let's. And then we also want. Let's see. Except the phase inspection slice 17 source authority packet based. So we'll say ready for inspection only slice 17 source authority packet based on commit. Copy. And then we'll tell it what it is. Copy. Paste. Load. Inspecting files and creating instructions. Map and slice 17's lawful source boundaries against the new clean base. Outward expression path, selecting meaning inputs. Refusal, uncertainty handling, and GP-14's protected baseline. I'll keep this inspection only, no repository edits, staging commits, or push. Inspected repository status, archive contents, results packet, design package creation, inspected output render and frozen boundary, search and project files for slice 16 reference and details. Oh. That's why I felt like this was encroaching. Design packet creation, inspected output render and frozen boundaries. Now it's searching the project files for slice 16 reference still. The old slice 17 inspection was blocked specifically because live code still something. Worked for 2 minutes and 21 seconds. All frozen pro models. That contradiction is now the correction we just closed. So this new packet will rerun the full slice 116 baseline and capture the corrected rendering boundary from that rather than reuse an absolute of the packet. Gotcha. Oof. So it worked. It did what it's doing. I wonder why it's not. Oh, where? Yeah, we must be getting at the end of this chat thread. Either that or like Fractal said earlier, everyone's just jamming on 5.6 Sol, which is crazy. Well, it must be just after dinner time for everybody, huh? And maybe that's why it was running fast. I'm gonna reload it and see what it does. I think it should have already came up at this point after it says work like that. If not, it'll. Yeah, there we go. See, it's all right. So, what does it say? Is this just what it was running? That's cool. So maybe it only goes for so long, huh? All right. Well, we're not going to keep sending anybody emails about it. And let's see. I'll go here real quick. We'll just say part 3. Ay, ay, ay. That's crazy. Well, at least thank you, YouTube, for keeping it real. Not sure. Must not be able to. Must not be able to be on for that long. Was that 2 hours? Yeah, probably. Welcome, everybody. So we're right in the middle of this next slice for uh, the expression boundary scaffold. Cut off twice already, so I guess we'll just keep coming back online, I guess. So then download this for our information. Download collector checksum. Verify the collector only. And then we're looking for zeros and slice authority pack. Yep. So keep feeding it. And give it the files that it just made. Those. And send it. Oh, geez. I think it's time for this one. Collector verification passed. All zeros. Collector hasn't run yet. Nothing mistakes are committed. Run the inspection only collector. It's going to collect the child processes, record the terminal outputs, and verify the general and rechecks the repository afterwards. And then what we will be looking for we'll run it. Log. Archive checks and return total 1, 2, 3. So we did 125. Wasn't it only created one, right? One text. Hey, anybody know is the live for like 2 hours or something like that before it shuts you off? Because I think that's the second time that's happened to me where on a prolonged build, it just kicked me out. So let's analyze. Aaron, you didn't miss much, just more tests, more checks. Appreciate you guys coming back though. I would say though, for an uninterrupted view, to go to, let's see, can I just, for an uninterrupted view, or the YouTube that is going right now too, there's the link for the YouTube. Honestly, I'd rather have you guys be on Substack rather than YouTube, but I'm just streaming YouTube for posterity, but it somehow that's stronger, I guess. Collector stopped safely before running the regression stack. Did not find missing test. Slice number parser. When we examine the file name containing slice 10, the regular expression accepted the short prefix slice 1 first. Same happened for slices 11 through 16, so they were incorrectly counted as slice 1. That produced a false report that slices 1 through 16 missing. So we'll run a correct collector. Bad you couldn't have done that the first time though, huh? Click on it. There it is. Oh, I did do it. Okay. So then now verify corrected collector only. Do not run it yet. Copy paste this complete block. And then we want that. We want to get that as the required ending. Let's see. So we want clean, none, correct parser, and 0. 0, correct parser. That looks correct. Take all this, copy. Create a file anywhere. Nope. That's just what it wants. Stop. Send the complete terminal output. You don't want the complete terminal output. You just want that. Correct data v2 is verified. Correct slice 116 parser present. Parser self test present. Repository head still. Work tree clean. Stages files. The collector is now safe to run. Run the corrected inspection only collector. Oh. Right, and then what are we looking for? Dang, we're probably going to end up running this chat thread right to the end. So we'll run that. We're looking for 3 zeros, a clean, and 2 nuns. Sounds like a joke. Clean. Pass, safe to run, corrected inspection only collector. Upload the generated archive. So we should have generated something. Oh, there it is. Narrow slice authority. Copy that, put you in there. And I will give it all 4 of these. So I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay. I'll let me just try 3 then. Oh, okay. We'll do you one at a time. Something went wrong, huh? What, were we still waiting for that to load or something? Jiminy Christmas, okay. So we'll delete this. And then we'll take all. We must have been waiting for that to collect it all. Let's delete all of this extra shit. Yeah, that looks more like what we were looking for. Uh-huh. Oh, this is the problem we're gonna run into, huh? No, I guess not. And so we got that one. That one. One more. Just for good sakes. All right. Packet. Pardon me. Packet collection passed. Now I'm expecting the uploaded archive itself, not just the collector summary to verify its checksums, internal manifest, all 3 regression results, exact source contracts that can lawfully govern slice 17. All right, boys and girls and aliens and whatever you want to be. Sounds like we're actually starting to get. Yeah, I didn't really think trying to carve out the LLM was going to be so difficult. It definitely embedded itself. Well, I definitely embedded it in there more than I thought that it was. Packets internally sound, uploaded archive digest matches, all 514 internal checksums passed, and all 34 captured checks returned 0 with an empty stder. STDERR. I'm now resolving the actual slice 17 source law, what may be read, what must remain immutable, and which existing render paths are only historical or protected baselines. Woohoo! All right, so looks like we're getting somewhere. Hey, thanks, Berger. Yeah, this. Do you know if Substack only lets you go for so long before it like closes out your live chat or your lives? Because it seems like after just before 2 hours, it always does a weird thing, and then by weird thing, it says reload page, and then once I reload the page, I have to reset the live chat, but it doesn't happen on YouTube. So list and key source scaffold files. So now sounds like we're actually building the slice 17 now. So this will actually represent how meaning becomes human readable output while preserving condition, modality, attribution, scope, refusal, relevance, and uncertainty. So this will actually be threading the RMC into Forge. Source authority is sufficient now. And whatever it just said. So here's what it's running right now, or what it ran. Looks like everything passed. Fire slice 17, source inspection ahead, accepted containment correction. Oh, that's crazy. So I guess we're just going to do it like this, huh? Yep, sorry, YouTube. We're gonna wait a minute and let Substack catch up with us. Not really sure why. For this thing to do its thing. Nice. Nice. I don't know what's more annoying. How many tests that we're running, but or the live streaming stuff. My gosh. Still loading high resolution. Well, this might be a good spot for me to run to the bathroom, so I'll be right back. All right, YouTube, what did I miss? Oh. Connection interrupted. Oh, the internet's still rolling. I mean, obviously, or else nothing would be up right now. We'll reload. Oh, dang, that sucks. But I guess it is what it is, right? Part 4. One more time. Hello, Substack. Again. No, see what the heck's going on? Something went wrong. Displaying the page. Reload. Yeah, I don't know. Looks like Substack does not want me to be live streaming on there, I guess. All right. Well, we're going to keep building because I'm not going to stop myself because of Substack. I'm ready to get this done. Connection interrupted, though. That's wild. Oh, it's because it's still trying to do 5. Oh. Mm-hmm. Let's see. All right. Well, I'm going to just take a minute and see what's kind of going on. Yeah, we're going to leave you running so you can see the screen, I guess. I don't know. It's 2.5 hours into it, but should definitely not be going like this. It's really annoying, but you deal with what you deal with, right? So I'll let my screen keep going, and once everything gets to the right place, we'll turn it back on again. Maybe we'll just leave that one open then. And see if that helps at all. Well, at least we're moving over here, huh? Packets arrive cleanly, validate an external checksums, internal manifest, regression record, repository identity, and most importantly, the exact lawful authority surface for 17 before deciding whether patch design may begin. External, internal integrities are green. The active digest matches. All checksums, entries verified. The structure is safe. Current rendered patch GP-014 baseline distinguished lawful authority from historical frozen code. The architectural results. No, don't want me to go live on Substack, huh? Got it. Source authority packet has passed. Independent inspection. Architectural rulings. Like 17 is sufficient source authority. Approved design. 12 new edited paths. Scaffold represents 6 record types. That's wild because this is like one of the most important parts of the build. So, anyways, download the final inspection record. And then after both files are into the download, run this block. And clean none heads. You want 0 direct shot matches, clean and none. So take all of this, back to it. I don't think that it made a file. Paste this here, go here. Okay, so I lied a little bit. We're going on. I don't know, maybe I'm doing it wrong, but fire screen, share. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Okay. Do, 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 do. Okay, well, that's that then, huh? Do, 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 do. And then we need this one. Nope, I don't want this one. Excuse me. You still see everything on there? All right. Is it gonna matter if I take this off? That one. I'll take that out too. But this one. Yeah, kinda, huh? Patch design being kept strictly additive. 12 new repository paths only. The information uses exact source snapshots and a deterministic marker preserved. It does not call the current renderer, the historical ME renderer, GP-14, 15, or other frozen legacy models. Oh, yep. So we're still rolling through here. Well, apparently, uh, Substack don't want me going live on there. Well, maybe it for some reason it just keeps on messing up. So I guess this is where we go for now, huh? Okay, so first time patch accepted, assembled, tested now, posable workspace copied from accessible source packet, including syntax, deterministic behavior, adversarial preservation failures, protected hashes, the exact 12 path containment. The isolated test found the verifier only false positive, not a scaffold defect. The verifier searched its own source text for forbidden module names that it necessarily listed as test data. I'm replacing that textual check with a AST import check, then rebuilding running the packet. Corrected patch now passes its own structure, syntax, behavior, and dependent verifier in isolation. Add the broader registration proof. Now all slice behavior pairs plus containment behavior and protected GP-14 tests over the disposable overlaid source tree. Like 32 tests and verifiers. Dang. Core tests are green. Found 2 hardening opportunities before seeing the packet. Preview metadata must be bound exactly to its plan. The external application results tool should verify the full captured authority hash set and the exact 12 on track paths. I'm tightening those now. Patch preview validation and fidelity binding. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I'm not sure if we should just start going live on YouTube and not even bothering with Substack. See, so hardened scaffolding now passes 238 behavior assertion, 9 assertions with 0 failures, disposable authority workspace, seeing those outputs into a packet and performing the final archive level inspection before any application authorization is issued. More. Just for the final payload itself is unchanged, still green. Rebuild an archive after manifest order correction. Then independently rechecking every member checksum, payload hash, protected source authority list, and default application refusal. Slice 17 external patch packet. So EM Meyer, hey, what's up? It's fine. For some reason, Substack is being weird. It won't let my live keep going, and it keeps crashing. So we're just going straight to YouTube, and I'm wondering if it's because we're 3 hours into it. But this is where we're at. I appreciate you showing up, though. That's awesome. Can I like your comment? How about that? I'll give that. Yep, we're still in building phase, slice 17. We're finally at the point where we got a packet being built. So now I have to download all 4 of these files, external patch packet checksum. This guy right here. And this verified downloads without extracting or applying anything. Run it. He says, sorry to hear that I had trouble. It's all right. It's just part and parcel of the tech gods wanting to do what they want to do, you know? So you can only do what you can. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Substack Live, but it's always been a little weird and buggy whenever I've tried it. That's why I've always made sure I have YouTube going, even if there's really nobody on here. It's more for recording what's going on. And it says that it made files. Oh, maybe it just reviewed files. Oh. We'll see what that says. But I do appreciate you coming in and saying hi. That's awesome and inspiring. Yep, I wish you could reach more, but like I said, we do what we can do, right? You got to flow like water. You don't want to fight it, because then it becomes frustrating. I did get frustrated for a minute, but and the cool thing is having the YouTube recording as well. Everybody can see that, you know, what Substack was doing. Now intent verified on next machine, so the conditional application gate is satisfied. Checking the packet's exact tool names, invocation contracts before giving the controlled extraction pre-application command. The verification gate is complete. The next command is the first operation. Okay. Yeah, Meyer says you'll reach more soon. It's challenging to blaze new trails. It's very true. Yep, because you don't even know where you're going. You're just kind of flowing like a new stream of water. You know, you don't really care about the banks or the rocks or the mountains going by. You just go. You just keep going. That's my motto, because I just made it up. Okay, recheck the clean repository, archive digest, extract the packets in new directory under that, verify all 4. Yeah, Meyer says, so true. Prove the application tool refuses without authorization. Run the application tool with the exact authorization token. Confirm that only 12 approved files exist as untracked paths. Confirmed 357 protected sources hashes remain unchanged. Leave everything unstaged and uncommitted. So we'll run a controlled slice 17 application. Make sure we copy that. I don't feel confident about that. Okay. That. And what is the finality of what we want? Want 1 refusal, pass 0 tools, return code, and pass none application pass. That's what we're looking for. An application pass. Let's do it. And yep, controlled slice application pad. Passed. Not stage commit files. Separate 1 mandatory 37 check application results collector. So it looks like extracted packet root, got all of that. And we will take all of this. Right in there. Did it give us any new files? I don't think it did give us any new files. Protected hash verify. I'm not sure if this is what it wants, but I'm giving it to him. No, guess not. Got that one. Got that one. So we'll send those and see what it says. 'Cause I'm not even sure that it was wanting me to send those. But we're gonna. The controlled application is valid. Exactly 12 authorized untracked paths are present. All 12 payload hashes match. All 357 protected source hashes remain unchanged. No tracked file change. Nothing staged. No commit or push occurred. Mandatory next steps. 37 check post application results collector run slice 17 result collector. And all of this, and then that's what we're looking for. 37,000, none, pass, none, validation pass. Usual test output is captured inside the results packet. All right, so everything came in, got the collector, upload these files right here. So the last 3 files that it made, all of this. And it said it wanted these 3 files. Okay. That guy. And this one. Ooh, we'll see what it does. Upload generated result archive. SHA-256 file. The collector run log afterwards. Not stage commit slice 17 files yet. Oh. Results collector record failures, but left the repository exactly intended untracked state. Inspecting the results archive now to separate real slice 17 defects from collector invocation or environment errors before changing anything. Cool. So I found a bug. We're about to fix it. EM Meyer says, answer when, if you can. Question. You had maxed out with GPT 5.6 earlier, and that surprised you. What did you learn? I just switched over to 5.6 this morning with my longtime collaborator. So what I learned is it's for, I would stay on 5.5 for all of just for most of your stuff, honestly. And if you're really want something deep, then, or like something big, like a big project or something like that, then I would switch over to 5.6. And you want to be in work mode, but work mode, I've found that's where like you can't switch back and forth from work mode to chat mode inside of the chat thread, or at least I couldn't find out how. So I would suggest that to stick with 5.5 unless you have something really big that you're doing. And even then, yeah, I mean, I guess it did surprise me because I'm not used to ever running out of space besides a chat thread. Like that's the only time that I'm ever used to running out of space. But I mean, 5.6 Sol is amazing. There's no doubt about that. I'm not gonna even knock that for a second. But I mean, it was just as cool as using Fable 5. I mean, it was pretty much, it just had more agents working. So that's me personally. I'm going to stick with 5.5 for just about everything until I need it to actually do something big or heavy, or using it for to go back through the whole build to see if there's anything. That would be what I would say. And don't worry about asking questions if I have time or not. I'm good with jumping back and forth. So, especially how long some of this stuff takes to actually think through and load and do what it needs to do. So this is everything, the tests that it's running itself. And now we're waiting for it. What you said? You said you were using 5.6 earlier. What was your perception of 5.6? Did you notice it any different than 5.5? And besides all of the cool things that it does on the side. See, evidence shows 37 checks executed, 26 reported failures, repository stayed, exact 12 slice, 17 paths remained untracked, no track files changed, nothing was staged or committed, all 12 slice, 17 payload hashes still matched. What actually caused all 26 failures? Every failure came from the same issue. The old slice 2 to 16 verifiers contain historical checks as get status contained only slice 7 scaffold paths. They were originally designed to run while their own slice was the only untracked work. After slice 17 was lawfully applied, they saw that. They rejected those newer paths. Even though the paths were authorized, the actual functional results were behavior verifier passed, Frogan legacy passed, everything passed. Don't change slice 17 scaffold, correcting the only post application results, methodology, corrected R1 collector. Turns all of that. So download both of these guys. That guy and this guy. Then we'll run the collector. Yeah, Myers says, thanks for the advice so far. 5.6 is humming for me, very different in a good way. Doesn't work on big projects, just very big creative writing projects, a slow performance theater show. Oh, that's cool. What's, if you don't mind me asking, if you don't want to give away the secrets, but what's the solo performance about? And is it going to be recorded? Because that'd be cool to watch. I love theater. So download both of those. Then we'll get this collector running. First fill, main serves evidence. 12 slice, 17 remains on track. So we're looking for 0, pass, none. Pass 0, 0, none, none, none. Result slice, application, collector verified. Creating files is the question. Nope, doesn't look like it. Yeah, Myers says it's about my life of contact and that it taught me to be more human. That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see it then. I hope you can get it recorded and posted. If not, it would still be cool to hear the story. You know, like the what would be called, the screenplay of it. Is that what it would be called? I'm not sure if that's actually what it would be called, but for theater. All right, verified repository remains correct. 12 slice, 17 files are untracked. No track files changed. No files header remains. The original failed result packet remains preserved as evidence. Run this. It looks like it's still building. And oh, looks like it's done now, huh? Okay. Back. And copy. Get all the way to the bottom so I can see what I'm checking for when we run it. And successful results must include 37 325000 pass, none. Slice 17, post application aware R1 validated pass. Paste, run it. Ian Meyer says, thanks. I'm still deeply in the writing process. I will let you know when it moves into theater where it can be taped for sure. Awesome. Well, I'm glad that 5.6 is working great for everybody because it is a great model. Just the half an hour, 45 minutes that I spent with it before it told me to give it more money was actually, it was quite amazing. It did surprise me. I'm not even gonna lie about that. Not even gonna pretend to lie about that. It did surprise me, and actually, I do think that it was better than Fable 5, the first edition of Fable 5. I noticed that Fable 5 was better for research than it was for actual usage, I guess. Is that the right word? Oh, shoot. I forgot to upload those files. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad that it told me to upload those files. I'm glad that it stopped before it did that. So we do this one. This one. And this one. Inspecting the uploaded files. Ian Myers says, whoa, better than Fable 5. Hard marks. I didn't get a chance to try that one. Yeah, I was tracking Fable 5 since they accidentally released all of the framework for it because it all looked really familiar when I was looking through its GitHub files. It all looked really familiar. So, and it wasn't about agency. It was more about like how it ran on your computer and where it gave permissions to, which is what we're building towards with AI.Web. So, but yeah, I think that uh, 5.6 Sol is better than uh, the first release of Fable 5. Fable 5 now is nerfed, or it's like they you can tell that it's not as good as the first time they released it before they pulled it. They definitely put a lot of guardrails on it. Probably that didn't need to be put on it. All right, sorry. My roommates have a grill going, and they wanted me to come out and light it for them. So went through all of this, got that, uploaded, return record confirms 37 checks executed, 0 failures. Yeah, I was hoping to get this slice done before dinner, but download. It's only been 3 hours though. That's not bad. I'm not sure how long you're supposed to mentally stay looking at a computer and coding, but since I didn't go to school, I never learned. Since I didn't go to school for computer science, I guess I never learned that part. So I usually go until my eyeballs fall out, but expecting any files? I don't think so. Bang. Slice 17 R1. I appreciate it, EM. Um, honestly, I know that this is all boring. It's basically just this over and over again, and if anything, I would watch the first one of part two because there's a lot of explanation in there. But I mean, honestly, I'm recording it to for historical purposes. Really, I mean, uh, I know that you came here. I know that you signed in, and it's already been recorded that you're here. So, a contribution of just watching the video is amazing to me. That's really what's important to me is just coming in and interacting. So, I mean, it's not too important, but if you find the first part two, because there's like part three, part four, all of that was just Substack messing up. But I'm not going to tell you to not watch it, but I think the most important ones will be the ones coming up here real soon. So I appreciate you being here, and thank you. Let's see. Validated R1 evidence established that all 37 required checks passed. All return results, checks unmatched. Woohoo! The exact 12 slice 17 files remain untracked and no track stage committed or push change occurred. Stage exactly 12 paths and capture the stage state. Ian Myers says, I understand that you're historically tracking this, and I'm not bored. I'll look for part two. Thanks for all that you're doing and sharing. No, thank you. It really goes to you guys. Thank you. Have a great night, and we'll see you in the next live, huh? this. Peace out. Chugga 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 chugga. Doo doo. So I got all that. And that's what we're looking for. Yep. Once it's committed, and hopefully we get to that point, which I'm sure we will. Just got to keep digging, got to keep digging. You don't find gold with a shovel. If anything, you find it with a pan. Let's see, and then it wants results from slice. Wait, what does it want? It wants the output record. We'll send it everything. We'll send it this. We'll send it that. Then we'll send it that. This is really what I love seeing. Thanks for all that you're doing and sharing. Because I really didn't think anybody would be too concerned about watching it build. But here we are, huh? Stage index is exact, 12 additions, 2,544 inserted lines, no deletions, no white space errors, no unstage change, no remaining untracked files. All stage blob hashes match the accepted payload byte for byte. Now I'm completing the content level diff review rather than relying on only a patch and checks and correctness. Aye, aye, aye. Okay, YouTube. Looks like we passed slice 17. We'll close out of this session. We'll end the stream. And everybody who stuck with me into YouTube, I appreciate it. Substack, I hope you can get that figured out. But looks like we passed slice 17. We'll be moving into slice 18 on the next build. So I appreciate you guys. And peace out. And I don't even know what to say, but have a good night. And AI Web out for now.